Are you a beginner with very minimal supplies? Or are you maybe somebody that's been crafting and creating junk journals for quite a while and you want to try something new, something fairly simple? Well, today I thought I'd show you how to make some spine dangles with minimal supplies and supplies that most of us can get our hands on. Welcome, it's Dawn with For Grace Creations. First thing that we're going to need is either old pillowcases, old bed sheets, or just some stray fabric. You even could grab that old t-shirt that really doesn't fit anymore in your closet, or maybe that shirt you really don't like of your husband's. Go grab it out of his closet. No, really. We're going to make spine dangles out of just whatever we've got. And I went to my local little thrift shop and I found a crib sheet. So it's smaller than a twin sheet. And I just cut off the edges that were sewn. And what I want to do is cut some strips of this. And we're going to use it to make some spine dangles because not everybody has lace or trims, things like that. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. After getting off the sewn edges that were folded over, I'm going to just snip, what is that? About a ½ an inch. And really you could do any width that you want. I'm going to snip and rip. And I'm going to rip all the way to the edge. Now, let me tell you something. If you snip and rip and you end up with something that is not evenly spaced, I mean, it goes skinny, wide, really skinny. It just changes as you rip up. That means you're ripping across the wrong way. So just turn whatever fabric you're using the other way and snip again and try ripping. Because let me tell you, the first rip I did, it was horrible, horrible. Let me actually show you a piece. So I started here and I snipped and I ripped. Look at how tiny it gets at the end. And I thought, okay, something's not right. Well, I was ripping the wrong direction. So don't get rid of this, just set it aside. And actually, I've got a few pieces from doing that I set aside because we can use that. Now, once we have this long strip, we're going to have strays, and I'm just going to come along and take them off. Sometimes you might have to cut them or they might keep fraying. And here's what I'm going to do. Mine, I don't know how long mine is, but what I thought I'd do is I would cut them down. Let me see. Basically, all you have to do is grab a journal that you're making, and let me see if I can do that here. All right, this is one somebody's made me. I'm a little too close. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this fabric, and I'm going to put the end on one end, and then down here, okay, and fold it in half right about there. And that's about how long I want it. I'd snip right here. And that will make it so that it's this length. It'll be perfect. However, I don't know what size journal I'm going to make it. So what I decided is I'd go a little longer. I'll tell you how long this one is. 22 inches. Now, what that did was that left me, well, so what I'll do is I'm just going to snip this long one at the same as that. So now I have two. This gives me a piece that is 27.5 inches. So rather than cut this one down, I'm just down to this. I'm going to save this. I'll do a shorter one and a longer one. That way, I have some for a shorter journal and some for a longer, but the end result, just keep this in mind. You can always trim it down. If you don't know what size journal you're going to make, it's okay. Better longer than too short, because then, yeah, trim it down. So how many of these strips am I going to use? Let's see. Well, how many do I have? I did a few off camera. I have 7. So I'm going to get all of them together on the ends. And then I will kind of grab in the middle and lay them like that. Okay. And then I'm going to take this little stray scrappy piece I've got, put it underneath here, and then tie it in a knot. So we're going to pull tight, and then pull tight again. Okay? So now we've got this top here, and we can just pull all of this down. I am going to create a little head here, kind of like a normal tassel, and it doesn't matter how far down you go. That part is totally up to you. So I'm going to take another little scrap here, and I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to take my ghost. It looks like we're making a Halloween ghost, and put it on there and tie it once to see if that's about where I want it. So I do think that's about where I want it. So I'm going to come back and find the end, and I'm going to then tie it one more time. And I'm going to let these dangle. Now, you don't have to. You could cut them real short. You could tie it in a bow, whatever you'd like to do. But I think for now, at least, I'm going to let mine dangle. The next thing is we have options for the top. We can attach it to a bulldog clip, or you could just tie this, maybe using our pencil idea like we had, because see, maybe you don't have these. I'd like to do one on this, but I'm not going to do it this time because it's possible you don't have this, and I would love for this to be something that we can all make. So what I would do if I don't have those bulldog clips is take a pencil, put it right here, and tie a knot like that. Okay? Okay, and we've tied it real tight. We take the pencil out, and now we have that little loop right there. And what is that loop for? Well, now you can put a safety pin or a bulb pin or something in that to then attach it to your journal. We'll use this journal because it's the one I used in the last video. And this is a playlist now because I thought we'd go over a bunch of ways to do this. So I'll link the playlist down below, and this is the second video, so you can go back and watch the first one, because we did make some tassels with some trims and some different things. And so this is a bulb pin, just around it at the bottom, safety pin. And we will stick it in there, and then you can close it up. Now, what do we do with this hanging stuff? Well, I think you could tie it in a pretty bow, but I'm going to go ahead and cut mine really short. All right, now let me move my camera because I'd like to attach this, but I want you to be able to see it. That'll work, but now you're looking outside. You see my view? I'm looking at my husband's shop out this window. Not a beautiful view, but it is what it is. I've got this here, but if you don't have something like this, just make a hole Or, since this is fabric, you could just attach this. Let's try it. Oh, it doesn't want to stand up. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to lean it on the button holder. All right. So safety pin, bulb pin. We're going to open it. And instead of using that, since some people probably don't have that, and I want to keep this easy, we're going to attach it here at the top, fabric. See how it's hanging down? Oh, it's already so cute. Oh, so you could totally leave it like that. But what we're going to do today is button art. So what I've got is this jar of buttons back behind here, and I just poured some right here. Now, to attach these buttons, you have options. You could use hot glue. You could use Fabri-Tac by Beacon. You could use embroidery thread or any kind of thread and a needle and sew them on. I want to try and use up the last of this. So let's try that now. Where to get buttons? Check your local thrift shops. You know, like op shops, Goodwill. There should be, oh, I need something to lay this on. Here we go. There should be some sort of a resale shop in your area. And I'm going to go with neutral colors here. And then, oh, my glue is oozing out. That's interesting. Well, I mean, at least it's coming out. After trying those kinds of shops, if you can't find any, your local fabric store, obviously that means you're going to have to buy it brand new. So just kind of think of how many you might want, what colors, and go ahead and get them new. Now, you might be able to get a cute little package of them brand new. I don't know. I do use a lot of buttons, and so I do keep my eye out for them a lot, but it has been quite a few months since I have actually located any buttons. Now, since I do still have some left, I don't want to go buying any yet, but if I get down to no buttons, I will be sad because I love using buttons and stuff. Now, how many buttons are we going to add? I don't know. It does depend on what you want to do. And I don't think that putting buttons on every single hangy doohickey is going to be what I want to do, you know. I want to do them sporadic. So, like, we've got some on here, and I'm going to put one down here at the bottom. But then we'll just pick a different strand to do. Okay, so we've got that one. Let's see. How about we do this one over here? Once this bottle is gone, actually, you know what? We might be at the end, guys. I want to try hot glue. Nope, we're not at the end, but almost. I want to go ahead and try hot glue. Let's see how well that works. So if you've got a hot glue gun, plug it in now. You know what we'll do? I'll go ahead and, even though this isn't gone, I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on, because I'm going to try out the hot glue, and then you will know if it even works. Because my thought is it would work, right? But we don't know for sure. So I'll be right back. I need to get rid of this pretty here so that when I make a mess with hot glue everywhere, it doesn't get on this. I'll be right back. Okay, so I did do some off camera just to see if they're going to stick. So I have this tiny little hot glue gun, mini high temp, and I got it for $3.99 at Michael's. So if you don't have one, you can look around and find them pretty cheap. And I've got my hot glue here. And what I'm gonna do, I did a few strands in there, but if we just kind of, oh, like that, how about let's do this one and not that one? Like I said, I don't want to do every strand, and here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just going to put a plop of hot glue on there and put a button on. And then maybe down here and here. Being careful, knowing that hot glue is hot. Don't burn yourself. Maybe another one right there. What do you think? A smaller one? Let's do, okay, that one. Oh, I hear my chicken, or rooster. All right. Now, when you're done, you just come back and pull the hot glue spider webs off, because spider webs do happen when you're working with hot glue. I'm just wondering if, does it happen more often with me than anybody else? Am I doing something wrong? And you could do every strand if you want. Should we do one more, since it is fairly quick? Just make sure you do use enough glue that the button stays on. And I don't know if that one didn't have enough. Let's give it some more. Goodness. There we go. And it's on my skin and it's a little hot. Not too bad. I'll come back and pull those off later. You know, here's another. Let's do this one also, just because it is hanging right out front. Here I thought I was only going to do a few of the strands, but that's okay. Like I say, you can do whatever you like. If you only want to do one strand as a focal point, you could do that. If you want to cover them with buttons, you could do that. That's the great thing about junk rolling, is you can do your own thing. All right, so now it does leave us with kind of a naked topper. So I'm thinking I could do one bigger button right there. Why not? I'm gonna put, well, I need another glue stick in there. I'm gonna go ahead and put a large glob of glue there so that I know for sure this is gonna stay. And I'm gonna push it. Now, I have glue coming out the button. Let me show you. Do you see that? But that's okay. See how it's oozed through? Oh, and look, you can see a spider web. But that might help hold it, you know what I mean? Because there's glue up in there. It'll make it sturdy. And that's all. Now, you guys, you could coffee dye this. You could use distress oxide and water on these. There are so many options. You could stamp on these. It doesn't have to be buttons. Use whatever you have. I just thought that this would be a good option for somebody that doesn't have lace and trims. And of course, someone that does have buttons. Now, maybe you've got some beads that are finagly. They don't go through needles very well to use. Well, you could glue those on here. The options are endless. So there we are. We have our fabric tassel with buttons. I love it. I actually think I'm going to go back in and I am going to add some more. But I hope that this kind of helped you today to just be inspired. Look around your craft room and see what can you tear up, what can you glue on, and go for it. If you make these, let me know in the comments below, and maybe you could find my email in the description box and send me a picture You know, that would be great. But definitely let me know in the comments if you're going to try and make this and what supplies you're going to use, where you found your fabric scraps. Really, I do want to know, did you go to your husband's closet? Or did you go to your own closet? So until next time, thank you. Thank you for being here. Can I ask you a humongous favor? Can you just click the thumbs up, the like button? That'll actually help me out more than you will ever know. And then if you like this video, if this playlist interests you, could you share it for me? The more people that see it, the better. Anyway, we will be back in, I don't know, 5 or 6 days. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm going to show you a couple more ways to do this. One of them is going to involve a few more supplies. Another one, we will work with buttons, but what we're going to do before making this is we're going to make a strand of buttons using these buttons that you can't glue down because they have a loop, you know? See? So go through your buttons and gather a handful like this so that you're ready for the next video. Bye, guys.